Alright, it is long overdue that I fixed up my studio space, office space here at the Shred Quarters, and I'm going to get the ball rolling by making this blank, empty wall look cool with a mural. Let's move some furniture. Okay, so I have this huge empty wall behind me, and I've always wanted to do some sort of art thing on it, but I've never had the confidence. That is until I found out about these things. These are giant versions of some of my favorite art tools, Posca paint pens. Look at that, yeah. So I'm not really gonna be painting a mural, I'm gonna be drawing it with these markers. So my idea is I'm going to draw a giant blue grid, like a giant D&D map background. And then with the black marker, I'm gonna do a bunch of doodles and fun stuff that is important to my life or has some sort of meaning or, I don't know, stuff I just think is cool. Now I have to measure out a grid on this wall. I'm gonna go figure that out. I don't know what I'm doing! So the next step is to actually rule out the lines, but instead of just going a foot by foot with the ruler, I got this chalk line. Basically, it's this string, and there's chalk in here. You take the line and you string it all the way across, and then you pull the string out and let it snap, and it gives you a nice, perfect, straight line. I feel like I just said the word line a bunch. I don't know. You'll see. All right, let's go. I feel like I'm fishing. All right, the grid is on the wall. I don't think you can see it too well in the camera here, but it's there. It's on there enough for me to start actually painting on the wall. I'm very, very nervous. I don't want to screw it up because I actually don't have whatever paint color this is because I'm renting this studio space. So if I mess up, I don't know what I'm gonna do. All right, wish me luck. Okay, so the one thing about ruling out all of the lines in chalk beforehand and then going freehand with the actual marker, I do this with all of my illustration work. Like comics, I'll neatly rule out the panel borders, but then freehand them in ink. It's just a way of getting the nice, clean evenness, but then still having a hand-drawn look that I think is very important, at least in my work. So this doesn't look perfect. It's all hand-drawn and there's little imperfections all over the place, but it's still a pretty even looking grid, which is exactly what I'm going for. I think I'm just absolutely in love with Posca markers, and obviously I just got started, but I can't wait to see how this giant wall turns out. Dude, yes, okay, I'm gonna keep going. Hi, yes, dude. I am so psyched on this. It looks like a giant sheet of grid paper that I use to draw my D&D maps on. Yes, yes. These big giant PC 17K chisel shaped 15 millimeter Posca markers are awesome. Once you like get the feel for it, oh man, so satisfying. The next step is I'm gonna take a picture of the entire wall. Probably have to climb up on my bookshelf or something to get everything in one shot. I'm gonna take it home, put the photo in Photoshop, and mock up what the finished mural is gonna look like. I have all of my little doodles kind of planned out in my notebook. It's just gonna be black line art doodles on top of my giant D&D map wall. Yes. I think I got the bug, dude. I'm ready to make some murals. This is awesome. All right. Is my beard longer? So like I said, I went into Photoshop and just drew over top of a photo and got this. While I think this looks really cool, I also think it's maybe a little too busy and it's not cohesive enough for what I wanted. So I spent the next week playing around with a bunch of different ideas. My Photoshop file has like 20 something layers with different iterations on this idea. And I finally got to thinking, you know, this grid is supposed to be like the D&D map that I draw on top of for all my games. So why not make like a map of my creativity? And this is what I came up with. So basically I took all those inspirations and they became the locations on this map. This concept seems really cheesy when I explain it, but I think it's gonna look cool when I put it up on the wall. Besides having something that's just a cool background, I wanted it to be a reminder of all the stuff I love. So yeah, that's the idea. The other cool thing is I have a giant grid on the wall. So for this next step, I'm gonna grab my pencil and start very lightly sketching stuff out, and I can just use this sheet of paper and it'll be really easy to transfer this drawing lightly into pencil onto the wall because of the grid in the background. So that's the next step. Let's get to work. Probably can't see the pencils at all because I tried to be as light as possible. I have a pretty heavy hand. I'm a little concerned about how these pencils are gonna erase off the walls anywhere I made mistakes, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Now, it's time to use the black Posca markers. I have a bunch of different sizes, so any details that need to happen, I got smaller sizes. But time to use these Posca markers and start finishing this mural. Yes! Cat burger. So I got the biggest size black Posca markers. There's the big 15 millimeter, I don't know if they do call it chisel shaped. This size is what I use for the blue lines. So I'm trying to keep the black line's consistent with that line width, because too much line variation on stuff starts getting a little busy looking, so I'm trying to keep it all a uniform line. But it is really hard to draw curves and details and stuff with this flat chisel tip marker. So I got a smaller, like actual chisel tip, like at an angle chisel tip, and this is an 8mm. So I started off using this one, and it's still very difficult going around curves. The line starts thick and then gets thin and then goes thick again, and that makes it really hard to keep that uniform line width. So then I switched over to this little round 4.5 to 5mm, and this thing is insanely fun to draw with. This one just runs along the wall. You can turn and curve and draw like crazy. So, obviously I'm having to do like multiple passes to go from the 5mm up to the 15mm, but this thing is the MVP, I think, of this mural. This PC7M little round, I guess bullet tip. Yeah, bullet tip Posca marker. I am in love with this little thing. That's it. I think I figured out the markers. I'm just gonna keep cranking on this thing. Okay. Yes! Yeah! Okay, so I'm all done painting the mural. I still have to erase all the pencil marks. I think I'm gonna go get a magic eraser because my little white vinyl eraser works really well, but the pencils get it dirty, so I have to like erase one little spot pencil and then on a blank sheet of paper like get the pencil smudges off the eraser and then go back to the wall, back and forth. And it's gonna take a minute to do this entire wall. And I've been here for like 8 hours working on this, so I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to be done for a minute. I am incredibly psyched on this mural. Real happy with it. I think it's a very fun, personal expression that makes the room look super cool. So my next plan is to get this studio all cleaned up, get some more decorations in. In a couple of weeks, I will do a studio tour because I think I have a pretty fun work setup going with Well, you'll see. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions. I see all the comments. I love responding and talking with you. If you have a mural you want done, hey, I'm excited to make more murals, so putting that out there. Thank you so much for watching this video and going on this creative journey with me, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya. The little mouse and the ninja are gonna be hiding behind the couch.